Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I guess I'm going to entitle this video, Know What You're Selling. And I'm going to tell you why I decided to do this video. Many years ago, kind of before the internet kind of kicked off, we had a publication, and I don't know if it was countrywide or just regional, but in the Midwest area at the time I was living in the Midwest, it was called the Trading Time. And you were looking at paper, you know, if you were looking for music equipment, stereo equipment, actually even cars. I think I bought one car out of that publication, a ton of music equipment. And everybody that sold the stuff out of there knew their stuff. I mean, if you look for a guitar and somebody was selling a guitar, the guy that's selling is a guitar player, so he knows his instrument. You know, the guys that were selling keyboards were keyboard players, so they can tell you about the product. But, you know, now with eBay, a lot of these people, I don't know where they get their equipment from. Maybe locker, storage locker. Somebody died and they bought the locker. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. But at least let me know that, and I've seen this, and I'm like, I commend you for your honesty. At least let me know and say, hey, I got this from here. I know nothing about this. You know, I'm trying to put it up here as far as maybe this is a fair price. I'm not quite sure, but this is the situation at hand. Instead of you sell stuff and you don't know what the blank you're selling. Because I'm just going to share two stories quickly. Yesterday, about 2 days ago, I was just going through eBay. And I ran across a Fender P-bass copy, precision copy. And the header read, jazz bass guitar. I'm like, this ain't a jazz guitar. This is a P-bass. You know how you can quickly determine that just looking at the pickups. It's like, okay, these are two pickups and only two knobs. Precision copy, squat. Now this is a jazz bass copy. You know, they don't look nothing alike. You know, you got these two separate pickups, these three different ones. Even if you're not a techie guy, you can just, you know, by physical appearance. These are two different guitars. This is a jazz bass. And the jazz bass copy. And the jazz bass copy usually have a thinner neck, you know. At least the Fender jazz bass jazz guitars do. So I emailed the guy. I said, you might want to change your header because it's not correct. What you're selling is a precision copy, not a jazz copy, you know. And he responded back, well, would that make a difference? Yeah, because it'll let everybody know that you know what you're selling. If you don't, it lets you know that everybody knows you don't know what you're selling, you know? I'm like, okay. And actually, he left it the way it was. He didn't change it. He figures, okay. I'm like, okay. Then I was looking at a bass guitar today because one of the first things I asked is the action. You know, how's the action? And I seen this beautiful guitar, beautiful color. So, yeah, that was the other thing. He didn't tell me what color, because when you have a seafoam green and a dolphin blue, I don't know why it is, but when you take pictures of those, they look the same. You know, I take a picture of a green guitar, when the picture, you know, after I finish taking the picture, it looks blue, you know. So he didn't bother to mention what color it was, you know. That's one of the first things, not the main thing, but one of the first things. Describe, you know, this. So especially when you're dealing with green and blue guitars. Now, if you're selling a red guitar, it's like, well, you really don't need to put that there because you can determine red is red. You know, so the shipping and handling was kind of high, but I think the post office, well, I know the post office has increased tremendously because the last guitar I shipped out, which was about, last week, normally the most it would cost me to ship a guitar, with the exception of California, would cost me about anywhere from $39 to $50, $65 at the most. That guitar was like $86. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is, and it got noticeably high. So I asked him what color it was, since it wasn't specified, since green and blue looks the same when you take a picture of them, and how much is the shipping, you know, because he's in New York. I'm like, well, it shouldn't cost me that much to ship here from there, because I'm not too far from New York City. So I asked him about the action and the shipping. So he responded back. He said, well, eBay calculates the shipping, which is true. And he said the color of it is blue. And then he said the action's medium. And then this makes me laugh when people tell me this, because my question was, how is the action? My question was not, can I adjust the action? Because I already know the answer to that. And you've gave me the answer to that question, which is not the question I asked you. My question was, how is the action? It's middle, it's low, it's somewhere, and still well, you can adjust it yourself. I know that, But he said it was medium. So I said, well, if I purchase it next week, would you be willing to lower it? Because I'm like, I don't want to have to do that unless I have to, unless you already told me that it's this high and it's, marked accordingly and you don't know how to do it. I'm like, okay, well, I do it myself. So I asked him, I said, well, hey, would you be willing to lower it? Since you know what you're doing, since you said you got to do nothing but adjust the truss and that. I said, would you be willing to lower it before, I purchase on Tuesday? And this is what he told me, which was some lame shit. I'm going to put it verbatim. Sorry, I don't have time myself to do it. This take about 30 minutes. I'm like, you just lost the sale, buddy. You don't want to stand behind your product. I would have been cool if you just been honest and said, well, I'm not good at this neither, instead of this ridiculous, lame ass excuse, because that was an excuse. And I'm like, what happened to, yesterday when people sold you stuff and they knew how to work it? When I was growing up and I went to automotive parts store to fix my own car, which back then you could do that, and that's all computerized, and they got stuff hidden up under the engine. You can't get to it. I remember one day I took the radiator out of my car. I drove up to the place. They charged you $40 to take it out and then repair it. I'm like, I can take this out myself. I drove around the corner, took that radiator out and brought it back. I'm like, here you go. Then when they fixed it, I put it back in, put antifreeze, and drove off. I'm like, back then we didn't have the luxury of, well, you can do that for an additional $40. I ain't got $40. I barely got enough to pay for the repair. So I'm like, back then you could do that. So when you used to go to the automotive place and you tell the guy behind the counter what you wanted and what year, that guy knew it and went and got it. Then all of a sudden the Pet Boys start popping up, the franchise automotive places, and you go in there and ask the guy behind the counter for a part. He direct you to an aisle with a hanging manual, or as far as you look in this book and find the part on the shelf. I'm like, ain't this your job? I'm no mechanic dude. I'm just a dude that's coming here to buy parts to put in my car. So it's like, unfortunately, we done got kind of lazy when it comes to customer service. The people that are servicing you don't know what they doing. They know less than you. And it's like, come on, man, But I just thought I would share this eBay story because I run into this quite a lot where people are selling stuff. They don't know what the blank they sell, Instead of at least finding somebody that they might know, they know somebody to say, hey, I got this and I want to sell it. Or, how should I write it up description wise and what kind of price should I slap on it? But I just thought I'd share that with you because I just thought it was interesting. He didn't have enough time to make a sale. I'm like, okay, next. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.